I got to that whenever I was arrested in Hardeman, and Doolin, them came and picked us up,
in Mississippi.
because, the night I got arrested and come up here into Hardeman County, that's the first night of sleep I've slept in about 15 or 16 years, and not worried about something happening to me.
I can't imagine what that does to somebody. It feels so unreal, because I had bad dreams down there that he came in the pot and shot everybody. And I'd wake up and he'd be standing at the foot of the bed. And people didn't understand. They said, well, why didn't you go? I couldn't get my husband, because Adam had complete control over Johnny. Anything like his checks, Adam would get them. And use it for whatever he wanted. We paid the rent and the lights and all of that out of it. But any extra, Adam kept it. And it got to where I got $446 a month from Johnny's check. And it got to where if the groceries were being bought, they were coming out of my check, because he kept what was Johnny's.
What would he use it on?
Telephones, telephone bill. He had two Android phones. He bought one for him and one for Alex.
So he bought phone, he really took care of Alex, didn't
Oh,
he?
yes, he did.
Not the other girls, but Alex.
Just Alex,
The 12-year-old.
the 12-year-old.
Do you think he was infatuated with her?
Either that or he brainwashed him, I don't know. I just hope that, I hope Adrian didn't suffer. Why? Why would he hurt her? She had just got her belly button pierced, and she had her first sunburn from down at our neighbor's house. And it's, now I'm not with my husband, I'm not with my family, and
You said you were taking care of your husband when all this happened. Who's taking care of him now?
Our oldest
your
son.
in South Carolina.
yes, sir.
Do you think your son was a demon?
I hate to believe that. I have to believe something got into him, and I don't know what it was, but
How old was he when you first started getting scared of him?
probably about 14 or 15. He was already 6'3", 200 and something pounds,
And he was how old when he died?
35.
What happened to make you first begin to get scared of him?
Well, it was just the way he acted with my husband. He could get Johnny to do anything, because all he had to do was ask. And I was the one that tried him not to get whatever he wanted. And I was the one that had to make him go to school, because I had to drive him. He couldn't ride a bus because he said there were too many people picking on him.
So he may have been picked on.
He may have been picked on, I don't know.
Whereas did you all abuse your children as parents?
No, sir. That's what I don't understand. Adam he had it made. Our other children could not get the same treatment from their dad that Adam did,
Why is that?
because he thought and he believed everything Adam said. He believed it. And I don't know that he wasn't coming back whenever he came back in the house, because why would he go back knowing all the law is hanging around there? That's how come we didn't stay at the landlady's, because I figured Adam knew where we were at. The FBI walked us up to her house. And if they watch this, I love you, Miss Mary. And Johnny, if you see it, I love you. I mean, this is so hard. My daughters, my family are behind me. That's, because he had me believing they didn't want nothing to do with me. I mean,
Have you seen your children since you've been locked up?
my daughter, PJ, and our son, John.
And where are they?
PJ's in Oakland. John Jr. is
Now
in
Pam, so you've seen Pam.
one time before I went to trial.
And where does John live?
Spartanburg,
South Carolina.
Yes.
So John's taking care of Johnny.
yes. And Johnny's, like I said, he's a kid. I mean, in his mind.
So you knew nothing when you just assumed at an early hour in the morning, you know,
It was
in
natural.
May of 2012, you just assumed that Adam was coming to bring the girls as he
Yeah.
normally would. He'd bring them in the middle of the night to
Oh,
see you.
yes.
So that was not abnormal.
No, sir.
So he showed up with two dead women in his car.
Yeah, but I didn't know that they were there. Why in the world would you, how can you put two children in a car with their mother and sister dead in the back of it? How?
Some of the police reports say that you transported Adam to the church where he was later found behind the woods. Did you carry him there?
Took him, he had his 9mm pistol. He said, "This is where we're going. You let us out. And the need to know, Mama." He said, "You don't need to know." And I knew Adam enough to, I didn't question him, because he could get really violent whenever you question him. He thought he was right about everything.
So he had those precious girls, Alexandria, Alex and Kalia, in the car with him. Did they get out immediately? Did they, that night? Then when he had killed Joanne and Adrian?
I guess they come in when he got there. I don't know. All I did, I raised up, and they came through the living room there and waved at me, and I said, "Hi." Went back to sleep.
And what time was that? Do you remember? No.
I don't remember what time it was.
Now, do you know if Joanne and Adrian were buried at that point?
I don't know. All I know is when I woke up and I had seen Adam out there digging, I thought, now if I ask him, or he comes in and I'm awake, he's gonna ask me if I wanna go out and help dig. Because usually when we buried oil filters, transmission fluid and stuff like that, I would have to help dig. When he worked on cars, he had to have, usually Teresa and I both there.
Aren't you glad you didn't?
Yes, I am, because I don't know what would have happened, because I don't know if he would have killed us. I think that's why he came back to the trailer, because he carried that 9mm gun around, even when Doolin was down there questioning him and telling him he was the last person to see everybody. He had that 9mm tucked in the back of his pants.
Where were the girls at when Doolin was there?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't.
I don't know.
So you had, at some point in the 2-week lapse there before the bodies were found, between them reported missing and the bodies found, you went to the Holiday Inn because you were scared?
Yes, whenever.
Of course, the FBI immediately came down to your
Mhm.
trailer in Union County
Oh.
where you and Johnny lived.
I've never seen so many police officers in my life.
How did you feel like, what did you feel when you knew that Joanne Bain and Adrian were buried in your backyard?
Well, I had to go to the hospital with chest pains, and I couldn't breathe. The doctor at the hospital told me, because my blood pressure was acting so weird, I said, "I've got to go home, my husband's there." He said, "You can have a heart attack before you leave the hospital." I said, "I've got to go where Johnny's at." I had to.
How'd you find out Joanne and Adrian were in your backyard?
The
Yeah,
police.
FBI told you?
Yeah.
The
FBI told
FBI
you?
and
And you'd walked over their graves.
Yeah, feeding the dogs. He put them between our dogs here and our dog here. He buried them in between. And I didn't think nothing about, I mean, you don't think something like that.
You knew he could do it.
I knew he could do us, my husband and Teresa, his wife, and me. I knew that.
You were afraid he was gonna kill all three of you.
I've got no doubt. I've got no doubt. And it's just,
Are you at peace?
with, I forgave him. But forget I can't. I can't do that. Because he took somebody that was just starting her life, and he ended it. I don't know how people can think. People thought I was the ringleader of it. I've heard that in jail. I didn't have, when the kids came down to the house, I had no control over what they did. He always said, I've got it, Mama. He said, you don't need to tell them nothing. And I thought, okay. And that's where it got sort of touchy, because they came and they would cook and they'd do their things down there.
What kinds of things did you all do? You had some fun visits down there with those girls.
Oh, yes. Well, we would go walking, we'd go to the neighbors, and Donna, she had a swimming pool. That's where Adrian got her first sunburn. And I mean, she was cooked. And
Pretty girl.
beautiful.
All three of them are just cute as a button.
Beautiful.
Joanne was in her 30s. She was just 30, what, 32?
33,
33 when she was killed?
I think.
He
so.
killed two women.
Yeah. Adrian hadn't had a time to live. And
You seem to be more upset about Adrian's death than Joanne's.
I am. Adrian,
Your little June bug.
my June bug, we would text each other back and forth. And whenever we lived on Jackson, Tennessee, on Riverside, Darrell Long across the road, I was doing his yard work. And Junebug got to where she was going over there with me. And he was paying her the same thing he was paying me. Just tickled herself to death because she liked earning money for herself. And it got down. I can still see her. The last time I seen her alive was they were leaving the yard going back to Hardeman County from the house, and she was hollering out the back window, "I love you, Thelma." I said, "I love you, Junebug." I'll
But you-
never get to see her again. I mean,
What did y'all do on that last visit?
the last visit, whenever they were all alive,
In Hardeman
well,
County.
we went out to the landlady's. Her son, Michael, is quadriplegic, and Adrian loved him. He would go out there. We had Easter egg hunt. And we went up to, well, Hollywood wanted, across the road, wanted the girls to come over there and get in the pool, but
So you were like a family.
yeah, whenever they come to the house. Adam told me, he said, "Well, you can be grandma to Alex, but not the rest." I said, "I can't do that. I can't do that. I loved every one of them." And it's just,
But it seemed like he did things with all three of them, because he's got pictures with all three of them.
like the ball fields. We'd go to the mall down in Tupelo.
You know, the funny thing is, none of those kids were Adams, though.
I
And
know.
he sort of obsessed over them.
Well, from what I understood,
And Joanne, too.
Joanne told him that